Hey guys, it's Katie at scrappinkaty.ctmh.com, and today is it is March 14th, which means it is the 14th day of Christy's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. And here is a look at the photos I'm going to be using as well as the sketch. Now, I love the water kind of mark behind the photos, the big title across the bottom, and of course that journaling around the edge. And I have pulled out a piece of our wood grain paper. You saw me kind of walk you through this paper pack a couple of videos ago. And then I also pulled out the boutique compliments from many catalogs ago, and it was in my stash. And I just love that the photos or those compliments are going to kind of complement the photo. I also pulled out a stamp set. Now, the stamp set is a go-to for me. It just has some built-in watercolor backgrounds. And so I'm going to pull off the largest watercolor and attach it to a block. And then I'm going to pull out my For Love of Color book. Now, in the photo, she has a purple or a grape shirt on. So I kind of want to see what colors will go with grape. So in the very back, you'll see grape and it says turn to page 12. And then what I love about this For the Love of Color book is you have 3 colors, 4 and 5. So I'm going to go with the 3 colors, which are going to be ballerina, grape, and mint. And I think that that's going to be really good. Now, if you'll notice, you'll kind of notice probably toward the end of the video, but I didn't actually add any grape ink. I'm basically using the grape color as the color in her shirt. So right off the bat, I'm going to stamp this watercolor image in ballerina. Now, ballerina is a pale color, but on this wood grain paper, it really shows up really well, and I really like how it looks. So there's another image on that stamp set that is kind of elongated. Now, one of the ends is kind of subtle, but I definitely wanted to use it just so I had different patterns of this watercolor look. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the compliments from this boutique line. Now I have stickers and then I have chipboard pieces. And I am going to be using the chipboard title for my title. And so there is one that says moments and then one that says sweet. So I just love that my daughter is, number one, you can see my husband. He is not at the forefront of this photo, but you can see that he is busy. He is talking on the phone, but she is happy as can be in his lap. I'm assuming he just got off work. That's why he has his work shirt on. And she is just happy. She also has either a phone or a tablet in her hand. And you can tell by her huge grin that she is just in the place she wants to be. And I think that it's moments like these that are just so sweet. So I've punched those out, and then I'm going to start the layers that are in the sketch. Now I'm pulling out an old mix-in collection, and there is a piece of paper in there that's mint, and then it's pink on the back, which can serve as the ballerina. So I'm going to trim off that zip strip and set it to the side. Because of all those hearts, I know I'm going to want to use it. So I'm just cutting this piece of paper to 4.5 by 6.5, I believe, because my photo matted on white daisy cardstock is a true 4 by 6. Now in this sketch, I want to kind of, I don't know, kind of add a little bit of interest into the photo. So I've attached my photo kind of askew on that mint photo mat. Now, I always have a hard time when I have crooked things on a straight photo. So I pull out my T-ruler to make sure my photo is straight. That's what I want straight. And then I'm going to trim those chipboard pieces and then pull out some of that pattern paper and then those stickers from the sticker sheet. And then I'm just going to start building up around this photo mat. That's one thing I love about photo mats and using scrap pieces of paper. When you see all the layering behind photos, especially one of the one of the biggest questions I get, number one, is on one-page layouts. How can you just scrapbook one photo, or how can you just scrapbook, two photos? Well, this photo here, these photos, that's the only photos I took. It was just a regular day on our couch in our living room. And so those are the only photos I have. And instead of doing all of this matting with full pieces of paper, I can just use things like those border stickers. You saw me trim down that one piece of that mint paper. It was what was left over after I cut this 4.5 by 6.5. I just used the back side. I just cut strips, tucked them up underneath. You guys know that I always like to leave just a little bit of space where it's not glued down on the edges. And that makes it perfect for me to tuck those pieces under. That heart zip strip I tucked under the very bottom so you can see more hearts coming out. And then I can attach my title, and then I am going to work on the hearts. Now, if you think I'm finished with the layering behind the photo, just wait and see, because I'm not. And again, that's another thing that I mentioned yesterday is I like to kind of rest and then come back to something, and then it just seems like it all flows together. Now, I decided to do that kind of solid striped heart from the sticker sheet up at the top because of those strips of paper that I put up above that photo. It just seemed like they just ended and I needed something to cover them up. So that sticker was perfect. And now I have two hearts at the top and two hearts at the bottom. And then now there are these sweet little flowers on the sticker sheet that I want to use. So I've put one at the top, one at the bottom, and then I'm going to put this kind of larger flower at the bottom as well. I am going to take the sticky off of the part that's hanging off just so it doesn't stick to my layout base. And then I'm going to pull out this floral sticker border from the sticker sheet just to kind of tie in the flowers, because I didn't have any flowers on this layout to begin with. So I needed to tie them in somehow. And so that border sticker was perfect. So I'm just going to tuck a little piece at the bottom left, just so there's one on the left and one on the right. And then I am going to start working on filling in more watermarks. Now, if you remember the sketch, it had a lot of stars everywhere. So I've just taken a little paint splatter image from that same stamp set and I've stamped it all around. And then I'm going to take some of those hearts here in just a second from the perfect match. But first, I'm going to draw my journaling lines. Now, if you recall, the sketch had journaling all around the edge, and that is what I plan to do. So I've pulled out my Versamat and my T-ruler and a journaling pen, and I am just making a line 1/2 inch in from all the sides. Now that I've got that drawn, I am going to kind of tie those corners together with heartstrings. So you just draw a heart and then draw the strings out to the side. I do have a couple of other videos where I do show a slow motion way to do this. And then I'm just going to add little bitty dots like I usually do all around the chipboard pieces and then some at the top. Now here are those little hearts from the Perfect Match special that was a couple of months ago. And I'm just picking out, there are some very light pink ones. I'm just picking those out and putting those in the lid of my craft jar. And then I'm just going to use my tweezers and my micro glue dots to just glue those kind of in and amongst all of these little elements, and definitely on those pink splatters from that stamp set. I end up loving how this looks. Again, this was supposed to mimic all of those stars that were in the sketch. So here is a close-up look. I just love how they're here and there and everywhere. And then there is a close-up of those heartstrings. Now, I kept looking at this layout and then thought it needs something else. So again, from the same stamp set, there's a little thin piece or a little thin image, and it is more kind of a watercolory look. So I am taking the mint ink and I'm just going to stamp along the corners. But then I realize I'm liking that so much. It's such a subtle touch. I don't even know if you can see it right now. So I pull my ink out again and I decide to ink all around it. And you'll see it here in the close-ups here in just a second. But again, it's just a subtle look, but it was a perfect ending touch to this layout. And then when I journal, I'll just be able to journal over that ink. So here's some close-ups of all the layers around those photos. And overall, I really like how this layout turned out. Now, don't forget that I will leave links down to everyone playing down below in the Christie's Beautiful Life 30 Days of Sketches. We are halfway through the sketches, and I hope you'll stick around to see the rest of the month.